what's going on?
How you doing?
I'm good. Long day. Excuse the hats for you bum-ass Yankee fans.
I don't hate the Mets. I hate Boston.
Ray Mendes, shout out. I see you on the line. Ray Mendes is a rapper from Miami, King of Miami. Go check that album out, coming out soon.
What's up, everybody? You already know, it's your favorite Jedi, BMF Goddess. I'm here today, accompanied by one of the most controversial in the wrestling managers in the area. And he also refers to himself as the king of trash talk. So I want you guys to welcome Micheal El Rey. Thank you for being here today. I do encourage everybody watching to converse with us. Leave your comment or question below. He will answer you live. And if anybody's feeling froggy, don't be scared to ask to join the chat and face him yourself. So again, thank you for being here, El Rey. And can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Where you're from, and your role in the wrestling business, basically.
So basically, I started about officially 9 years ago, unofficially maybe 12 years ago. When I say unofficially was I started as a journalist first, and I started with a crew out of New York in the Sheepshead Bay area, Brooklyn. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, called Ring Fever. And then we did exclusive interviews for guys, promotions like Gino Caruso and Rob Fury, New Jersey names, and some of the IWA stuff that was going on.
SWF?
Yes. SWA, what is it called now? SWF?
Yeah.
Rob Fury? Well, back when I started with him, it was called GCW, Genesis Championship Wrestling. I basically started doing interviews just like you. I started with a guy named Paul Ween. If you go back to the most recent 9/11 documentary, the WWE documentary, Paul Ween is like the last group of guys that are talking about it. He's on the last, 30 minutes or so. I did that for a couple of years. I did radio out in Jersey. I was local 1360 AM. I got that gig from the guy that's currently running for mayor right now, Curtis Leveler. He got me that gig. He's running for mayor right now in New York City. So if you're in New York, you know what I mean? Fuck Eric Adams. We voting for the guy that's in the street, not the guy that be in the suburbs. So basically, when I was in high school, I basically started with the amateur wrestling. I could say he's one of my closest friends. I haven't spoken to him maybe we talk here and there on Facebook, but we haven't really seen each other maybe in probably 5 years. But I started the same time as George Santi. A lot of people don't know that I actually, if you put two and two together, you see old pictures of him in his FDR Cougar uniform back in the days, and then you see pictures of me. Well, my uncle was a trainer at Gleason's Gym. And Gleason's Gym, it's in Brooklyn. It's world famous. He trained guys like Acapito Sanchez. He trained Danny Martinez. These guys won titles back in the days. And this is way before Yuri Foreman won his title. This is way before Zab Judah for Costa Sus. So I was in the early 2000s. We'll say 2002, 2003, I was already at the gym. Just doing junior metros, junior Olympics. And then in my sophomore year of high school, I started doing amateur wrestling. My junior year, I introduced George to Johnny Rods, and I was taking free lessons with Johnny Rods and them. But Johnny never wanted me to be a wrestler. He said I was a good mouthpiece. I was a good ring announcer. I was a good advocate, but la lucha libre no es para ti, papa. So I took that under consideration.
Ask that. What was how it came about for you to just be a manager? Because was it a case of you can't do some can't do so they teach or they do something else? So they felt the same way, like wrestling just wasn't it?
No, I'm too stiff. Okay, the problem is that I could go to any trainer in the world. I've trained with Frankie Reyes. I trained with guys, different type of guys. I'm stiff. Okay, I have anxiety issues. So when I'm wrestling, I can't separate reality from fiction. So when I go in there and the guy's slamming me and he's not well trained, I've been hurt already. I wrestled in Brooklyn for a company called RWA, and I got hurt. So I always have that mentality: if the guys know what he's doing, or if not, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. So I already had a couple of incidents where I'm stiff punching people and I'm stiff kicking them, and I legitimately choke the shit out of you if you don't tap out. So since I had those issues and I had those built up anger issues, and I was leading towards the radio scenery anyway, I started doing more wrestling related podcasts. But I would get in the ring once in a while, like when I have friction. Like right now in Florida, you got a lot of bozos. I call them bozos because that's what they are. They use the word mark very termly. So once in a blue, I'll get in the ring. Once in a blue, I'll get in the ring just to let my nuts hang. But in all reality, like, you got to know in this game where you fit. If you're a good wrestler, you're a good wrestler. If you're a good ring announcer, you're a good ring announcer.
I respect that, though. Because a lot of people won't think like you and they'll still try to do something, It's not for everybody. Just like anything else. It's definitely not for everybody. And for you to sit there and be like, listen, it really isn't for me. I'm better at doing this. I respect that.
I trade with the same traders that trade Dean Valico. His name is Frankie Reyes, well respected here in Tampa. The dude even told me himself, you are the greatest heel manager that's coming out right now. But Papa, you too stiff. You have to hold your punches back. You have to do it this way. And since I already have, if you're from Brooklyn, you know about this school. I went to Jizza on Brighton 8 to Jewish Academy. It's a Jewish academy, but they train wrestlers in the gym. And this guy used to train Team Russia and Team USA. So I have that Greco-Roman background and that boxing background. So when I'm laying in punches, it's hard for me to hold back. You know what I mean? To my prior training. Even now, there's certain spots that I try to do, and I really try not to hurt these guys, and I lay it in. There's nothing I can do. It's either you're going to take the hit that I give you or just, this is the wrestling business. But the new generation right now, they really fucking soft, and I get tired of the fucking complaints. Like, real talk. Like, the new era right now is pussy. It's real talk. It's real pussy.
It's cheap. They've made wrestling cheap. I know exactly what you mean. Step out of me.
I'm considered the Howard Stern of independent wrestling right now. I don't hold back nothing I say on the mic, and I don't hold nothing back on the interviews. One of the main things that I've been doing for the past couple of months, I've been preaching independent wrestling at its fullest. You can see my shirt right here, Independent Michael L. Ray. I got clotheslines on knockoutshop.com. I got my own sneakers. I got my own hats that I make. I support the independent movement because this is where you start. Now, I should be in fucking AEW already. I should be on TV already, but I have come into the conclusion that my mouth has reached its highest potential of what it could be, and I basically closed a lot of doors that I didn't have to close with my gimmick. But like I said, wrestling has become, you have the Attitude Era, this is the pussification of wrestling now. So I've offended a couple of people that hold the power of me going to the next level. So that's why I'm still at where I'm at now.
Being that you said that, do you think there is a line that you have crossed between your gimmick and being who you are as a heel and the professionalism?
Okay, so the major problem I had with changing my gimmick. When I came from New York, I had a different name. I was Big Mike Show. That was my name in New York. When I came here, it wasn't buzzing. It wasn't doing shit. It was fucking corny. The gimmick I had, it wasn't doing nothing. I turned heel. I changed my name from Michael to Michael El Rey, kind of as a tribute to my grandmother. It's no secret what I am in the industry. It's no secret. I have the tattoos. It's whatever. I was born and raised in Coney Island. I praise this. Some people find it a negative. I turn it to positive. I am the first official Latin king to come out in public and come into the entertainment business. It's publicly known that I'm a king.
I've heard that as well, which is confusing to me because that's not normally done either. I have a brother who's in the same whatever circle.
It's not known
for guys, whatever, but that is the first for me to know.
It's not known for guys like me to jump ship and go into the entertainment world. I'm still a king. I still have my tats. I'm original Coney Island. You could waste your fucking time looking up information about me when it comes to the nation. You would just embarrass yourself to see if I'm legit or not. You'll just really embarrass yourself.
Oh, I'm not questioning.
No, not you. I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about legitimate scumbags in this industry that when I changed my name to El Rey, it was supposed to be a tribute. Now, when the tribute was when I used to get home from school and I used to, win my matches. My grandmother used to do this thing where she used to be like, "Ay, aquí llegó el rey, el más grande del mundo, el papa." It was a gimmick thing. She used to use that to tone me down. So I added that. Now, when I added that, it caused friction with the new generation. Old motherfuckers that are 30 years old and stuff like that know about the nation, that know about the tone era, they know what I'm doing is positive. New motherfuckers in their 20s and their stuff like that, they too into the cancer culture and watch what he say and stuff like that, and they made this shit fucking corny. I don't threaten nobody with what I am because, honestly, your own brother could be your worst enemy. But there's been several instances because you have a lot of cloud chasers. You have a lot of cloud chasers in the industry where I have to legitimately pull up with them to shows just for my own protection. And I don't like to do stuff like that, but Miami's an instance where I had to do that once, and then there's another town out here where I had to do that because my safety. Some of these redneck backyard shows that I go to are fucking dangerous.
Right.
They get, they call me spick and tell me to go back to my country and shit like that. And when you're in no man's land, you got to do what you got to do. So I bring, I used to bring them a lot, but I've gravitated on now just bringing a handful or bringing one. In the state of Florida, you can carry a gun. So I have my license to conceal. So I really don't need them, but when I go to other states, bro, I really need to bring them. It's like I do shows in Tennessee. I do shows in Royal Confederate places where I attack these guys. I call them rednecks. I just go into my gimmick and I cause fucking riots. And I drive a fucking Honda. Everybody's going to know it's me. So sometimes I got to bring, a homie or two to these shows.
That's why I asked them, how does the line, do you think that you crossed the line from gimmick to unprofessional? What's the reason that people are taking,
okay, so
all the trash talk, which is part of, the action, right? It's part of what gets, the crowd going, and it makes things interesting. Why is it that people are taking shit personally?
Because all right, so when I was in the industry in Jersey, New York scene, I moved down to Florida. All right, I moved down to Florida strictly because my aunt had some issues, and I was gonna buy the house off that she was in. I'm not gonna say by mistake. I really said God put me in the place that I'm in. I was going to the fucking hardware store. Okay, I had no idea they had wrestling in the backyard of the hardware store. At that show, the Nasty Boys were there, Earthquake, and Jimmy Hart was there. Okay, this was about 3 years ago. Now, Brian Knobs and Jimmy Hart both know me from doing shows in New York, from the boxing, from all that. They know me as a ring announcer. So I go up to Brian Knobs and I go, yo, do you remember me? Just by the grace of God, just to see if he fucking remembers me. And he goes, yeah, the clown from Jersey. What's up? I'm like, yo, I need to get back into the indies. Hook me up real quick. He hooked me up with the company that was doing that show. I did that for about 5 months. Now, the reason why the industry is so offended is for those 5 months that I stood quiet at that promotion, I was secretly getting bullied. I was listening to these motherfuckers talk to me in the back. I was playing that OG role, let me not make a move. Let me play this by chess. Let me see who's who. Because, you had a lot of guys saying they were this, saying they were that. Once I realized, right, who were the powers to be, it became a suck my dick campaign. And I started violating all those who bully me. I violated them back in the worst way you could possibly think of. Just until recently, I got invited to a show called Riot. Riot is the premiere. It's one of the 5 major shows you need to be at if you want to go to NXT or AEW. There's 5 major companies out here in Florida. The ones you want to be at is WXW. Okay, you want to go to WXW because that's alpha shit. You want them to see. You want to go to ARW in Cocoa Beach because you get that Jim Cornette beef. You get Then you have Magic City, which is another one. You have Riot Pro Wrestling, and you got CCW, the infamous CCW. Now, I've successfully been on all those shows but one, WXW. Over a manager that feels he's a lot of these people don't know I'm a veteran. Okay, so it started off when I started the Suck My Dick campaign. I ended up at CCW. When I ended up at CCW, I ended up because I legitimately punched one of these dudes in the mouth at a show. They were asking me questions about Pablo Marquez. Pablo Marquez had got in trouble in the indies. Now, I personally didn't know what was going on. So the day, just the atmosphere, the guy coming to my face, asking me questions, I felt like he was trying to sun me. So I basically punched him in his fucking mouth. So that made that open. This was a wrestler. I done legitimately fucked up about 5 wrestlers already in this industry. And maybe if I feel like it, I'm probably gonna smack the shit out of the owner of FEW when I feel like it. I'm gonna get to that in a second. So I got, it was a guy that he just kept talking without knowing me. I took it personal. I smacked the shit out of him. Then I started making funny videos about the way he wrestles. And I started calling it Who Booked This Shit. And when I would do these videos, I was getting a buzz. But then every time I get a buzz, they'll shut my Instagram down. So this is probably like my 4th page. So I switched it to Facebook and I had a little bit more leniency, but I just kept going in more with the Who Booked Your Shits. So then I started choosing the guys that heard me. Not heard me, because legitimately this was Florida. Like you can really. So guys that talk bad about me, I'll pull their videos up and then I'll go on. It'll be 1K, 2K, 3K. That's what made them put me in CCW because they realized I had good commentary skills. Because I'll take their videos and I'll make fun of them. One of the most viral videos I got right now, they actually played on NBC when Hector Perfecto wrestled Jake St. Patrick. I'm doing commentary for that whole match, and they used that video on NBC, like a short clip, and you hear me when I'm like, Hector Perfecto, the best wrestler out in Cuba, and the guy's not even from Cuba. It's just shit I was making up. Crossing the line, I'm at the point right now where, like, I should be in AEW, but I'm being blackballed by a couple Puerto Rican guys. So, because I'm being blackballed, I am back to the suck my dick campaign, which goes to the promoter that I'm about to talk about. He's one of those guys that he'll hit you up, right? I know there's no hair in my tongue, because I know he's watching. He just clicked on. His name is JB Cool. He'll hit guys up, fresh up, give them the whole story. I got connections with Israel. I got connections with AEW. I got connections here, there, everything. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because we on your podcast. He's such a bitch that he'll try to sue us later. Allegedly, he'll hit you up with that. He sent me things before.
He was selling dreams, in other words.
Bro, his dreams are incredible, but since I was already in New York and I've been around Paul Ween writes a certain way. And I've been around Bill Apter, who's the owner of OneWrestling.com. So I know when someone went to school and they're writing shit, you feel me? I know like if I write you on Messenger, you're gonna know I'm fucking writing you. Now, if I send you a fucking paragraph and that shit looks too perfect, and you sit back, you're gonna start feeling like, okay, this is a legit company. Now, these momos here in Florida don't do what I do. I fucking look these guys up legitimately online, their real names and their fucking backgrounds, because you're not gonna fool me. So he was one of the first guys I looked up. A convicted felon, okay? Con artist, fucking, and he got convicted for it, so I can say that there's no alleged. Okay, stole from a healthcare fund, whatever. I already knew that dude wasn't gonna pay me, but I was already at that fucking show, so I had no choice. So I gave him the option: you're gonna pay me, or we're gonna fuck shit up. He paid me. Okay, everybody else didn't get paid. I went about my business. I never did business with him again. We tried to do business with him when I was the co-owner of OCW in Ocala. But I know when someone's playing the gangster role or when they're really gangster. Like, if me and you got a problem, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to go over there and shoot up the spot you in. You're not going to do that. Especially if you write it online. So
because really he's moving silence, right?
So like with me, when I go online and I tell these people, the difference between me and them is I play with the law here in Florida, and I know I'm not supposed to. But legitimately, the law is, if you strike me, I could take your life. That's the legit law here. So, being that this is a Republican state, this ain't the city. In the city, I will talk, but I will watch my mouth. You feel me? Because NYPD don't play that. Over here, you got more leniency because it's not filled with. It's more like if you gotta buy your own gun and fucking protect yourself out here. So now you putting me in my field. You putting me in an area where I'm comfortable. So I'm gonna talk my shit because in reality, I know if I go to my car and you try me, your fucking career is over. Fuck my career. I know I'm not going to AEW. I know I'm not going to MLW. I know that already. So honestly, you're gonna waste your time fucking with me because when I shoot you in your leg and I get away with it, now you don't have a career. I can still go do radio, I can still do podcasts, I can still do whatever I want. But you as an athlete, you're fucked. You're legitimately fucked. So I try to remind them, you know, who Howard Stern was, you know, and that's the, you know, I'm doing the Howard Stern Star Book Wild gimmick for new era of pussies, you know, and I try to remind them it's a gimmick. But, you know, about 2 months ago, I had a tryout, and the tryout was supposed to lead me into Puerto Rico. Some bozo, right? I'm still trying to grasp in my head what happened. Some bozo, right? Johnny Knockout, if you on the line, hit the thumbs up, because I know Johnny Knockout's the one that broke up the fight. Ray Menace, the rapper, he was there too. Some bozo walks up to me. He's giving everybody fives. I'm in my shirt. I got my Brooklyn hat on. You know what I mean? Comes up to me and smacks my hat off my head. Now, I don't know these fucking Momo games they play in Florida, but if you fucking do that shit to me on 17th Street and Mermaid Dog, I'm gonna take your life. So, I still don't know if he was playing. That's why you said if you cross the line or not. I still don't know if he was playing. But I slapped the dog walk out that motherfucker and basically end his fucking career out here in Florida. Because now, this was a guy who was legitimately hurting people in the industry, legitimately saying he was from the Bronx, he was a tough guy. He walked in there with that 1996 bebop walk with his head back. He had a black bandana from his back. I'm like, yo, bro, niggas don't even flag no more. What year you in? You feel me? What year you in? Where you see people flagging at? No one in New York flags anymore. I haven't seen people wear beads since 2005. You feel me? Real talk. So
A few do, but it's rare. It's rare now.
you see it on videos. Let's be real. You see it on videos. You don't really see it in the street. Like, I'm back and forth. Brooklyn back. I got family in Harlem. I got.
That's how the authorities know who you are.
Yeah.
After a while, it took them, to figure that out.
So, I legitimately smacked him, and it cost me my tryout. Okay? Because after I smacked him, it was before the show. There was scuffle. You know what I mean? And it made it to the point where the promoter had to tell me to leave. That right there, that incident right there made me realize that I'm kind of taking shit a little bit too far, and I'm fucking with my money at the same time. Because not only like I have a legitimate shoot job, but fuck, I just drove 4 hours to slap the piss walk out of a motherfucker. Now I gotta drive 4 hours back. Not saying I ain't got bread. I always got bread on me for these trips. But fuck, that was a waste of a fucking day. I didn't get him back invited to that show up until recently. They were not fucking with me.
How you got invited back?
They rewinded. I guess they were filming. They don't want to release the video. Obviously, I don't really care about the guy. I actually want people to still book him because I felt bad for him a little bit. But they watched the video and they realized, and plus Johnny Knockout was there, and they realized that I was in the right, so they invited me back. When they invited me back, when I originally went there, I went there as Benny Blanco's manager. When I went back the second time, they wanted me to be commentary, but due to the fight, they switched everything up on me. They ended up giving me a bigger spot. The promoter ended up trusting me more, and he gave me like a Spanish tag team, that legitimately can't speak English. They could fucking do promos in Spanish and everything, but they don't speak English. So I'm more like their manager / translator. I came out at the last show. I had a little buzz. I caused a little drama. Me and the kids, we never get along. I did my whole fuck the kids speech. They went crazy. And it was a good pop. So I'm most likely invited to their next show. But the promoter's in DR right now. I'll find out when he comes back. And then other doors started opening up for me. Doors that were closed, because that one smack ending up opening up 3 other doors for me. So it's like one door closed, but 3 other doors open. That's what also made me go to Riot. So when I was at Riot, I took the chance. They gave me open mic. I decided to take shots at another manager who decided not to show up that night. And supposedly he's the #1 manager in Florida and the Northeast. So I went straight for his head and I called him a bitch. And I had a big pop off of that. I had a couple of views on Instagram. I had a couple big ups for that. But that kind of closed the WXW door for me because he has ties with them. And he sucks a lot of dick in this industry, boy. This is Marina Tucker's man, Dr. Eric Christopher. I mean, no, nothing against the LGBT community, but this dude legitimately sucks mad dick in the industry, and it's hard to go against that when he uses his girl as a fucking tool, and that's the problem I'm having with a lot of these industry clowns. Right when they see they can't do nothing to me, they start using their females, and they go with the always crossing the line, and they use them as a weapon, and ironically. How so? So Eric won't let me into WXW because if I go into WXW, Marina Tucker's not gonna wrestle for them. So thinking that she's their champion, she'll go in there and do the whole titty walk thing and start crying and be like, I offended them, and bang, they'll take her over me because she's a champion, she's been there more. You feel me? That's how they use their girls. Now, if you go and you see the way she treats people, okay, and you see the way he treats people, you can't really do nothing because they're fucking two sickos. You feel me? More him than her, because he's just straight using her status. So that affects me a lot with certain bookings. Then you got another guy. I'm not making this shit up. There's no allegedly with this. You look him up. Papa, he was the king of fucking drag queen shows out here in Florida. Okay, he used to be a promoter for drag queen shows. He, for some reason, got beef with me now. And that shit all started with Benny Blanco. I used to manage Benny Blanco. He caught some heat in CCW, and it rubbed off on me. And when it rubbed off on me, I started firing back. More to say, because I knew what they were saying was right about Benny, but it was more like, I rode the road with him for 6 months, and out of everybody that was turning their back on him, I kind of felt like, listen, homie, like, shut the fuck up. Let me do this. Let me do what I do. I got the years. I got the backup. Just let me try to handle this. And it became so. Say it again. It became an obsession with this dude. Like it became a real obsession with Lou Spector, Eric Christopher, and the Para something. I'm not even gonna plug their podcast, but a certain owner, Joseph Anthony of some fucking Mark podcast. It became like a thing. I offended them to the point where I'm the co-owner of SWA here in Leesburg, Shadow Wrestling Alliance, to the point where they actually called the venue and offered them to get me out, not to use my show. So now you're playing with my money. You feel me? Besides what I do here, I also run a legitimate indie show where I actually pay guys their rate. I'm one of the few promoters out here that pay motherfuckers their rate. I don't fucking like paying them because these motherfuckers are lazy. They don't do nothing for it, but I develop a strategy where some of these guys are good workers and do deserve it and put in the work. I pay them their rate. So if you $100, I'll give you $100. But if I feel you're a $20 guy, you getting fucking $20. And I base it off their matches, and I base it off their popularity, and also how they promote themselves. Because some motherfuckers will be on a flyer and they won't even say shit about it until 2 days before the show, or drop a promo the day of the show.
Well, what I was gonna ask you was, how did it come to the point where you and Benny were like?
Okay, so I like Benny on a personal level. On a business level, he has more growing to do. All right, there's 3 levels to this. Okay, there's personal, business, and wrestling. Okay, on the business level, he needs to separate the personal and business. On a wrestling level, the reason why, I'm not saying we broke up, but we had to drift apart. Benny and CCW got some heat, okay? And it rubbed off on me. And it started with Lou and Cha-Cha and them. Now, I've spoken to Cha-Cha Charlie on several occasions because, like I said, some of that shit rubbed off on me. Like, some of these guys don't even know that we legit... I haven't booked Benny for the past... Bro, I haven't booked Benny legitimately since he wrestled in CFWE. I'm talking about maybe in March. Maybe April. Before June, he was not at the Shadow Show. He already took a break. That was the last time I booked Benny. Now, Benny has... What I'm trying to say is that you ever watch Rocky? You ever watch Rocky? You ever watch Rocky 3? When Rocky was up there and then he let Mr. T get at him and it blocked up his mind and he was unfocused. So I started telling Benny he needs CCW, okay? He legitimately needs CCW. And a lot of that stuff that's going on between him and Cha-Cha and stuff was before me, okay? Me and Vince had no idea none of this shit was going on. Vince Steele, who's like a brother to me, and Pablo asked me to be Benny's manager. So I kind of told Benny, like they were jobbing him out a little bit. So I was like, Benny, if we're gonna job you out, we're gonna do it with style. You feel me? I don't manage bums. We're gonna do it with style. So when he started creating that buzz, more and more, the other students started using the tuition funds and stuff like that to get at him. So they were basically saying like, oh, so now Benny gets to go to Nashville and now Benny gets to go here. It's all because he's with Michael Ray. He don't pay his tuition. And it started getting personal where he's his own character and he'll tell people to legitimately suck his dick. You know, he's his own man. He's called these guys out on his own or whatever. But now it started affecting me.
Yeah. But on the other side of the spectrum, everybody shouldn't be worried about what the fuck Benny's doing. Like sometimes, and I said this on the podcast that I had with him. Sometimes opportunities come to us that we don't necessarily earn, but we're gonna take advantage of them. For those other people, they're just hating. It's just hate and envy. And okay, this person doesn't deserve this, but for that, I don't know.
But this is where you can't mix business and personal feelings. So he asked me one day.
Like that whole fed is personal, bro.
Okay, so he asked me one day how I felt about his wrestling, and I legitimately told him how I felt. He was a great wrestler in CCW. He worked out every week. He had matches every week. He was on the road. When he left CCW, he let that bullshit get to his head, which caused him to start wrestling shitty. And that's why we started getting them different trainers. And it wasn't the training, okay? It's not the training. I put him in matches where he should fucking fail and fall on his face. And he does really fucking good. He's wrestled Super Crazy, he's wrestled Low-Key, he's wrestled Deimos, he's wrestled guys, but he doesn't understand, and he's gonna fight and say no. If he doesn't let this go, this happened last year, Papa. I done forgot about them, moved on, fuck different bitches, you know what I mean? Shit done passed. If he doesn't let that go, he's never gonna get that spark back. You can say you coming back 100 times, but when you do come back, it's never gonna mean nothing because you took too long. In independent wrestling, fans forget about you like this. Okay? The spot that he was at.
If you don't leave an impression, bro.
So where Benny was at the top of where he could be at a mid-card level in CCW. Now, there's levels to this shit. In pro wrestling, there's actually levels to this shit. When you're a rookie, they don't want to hear your fucking mouth at all. Okay, because there's some things that they legitimately do on purpose so you could go over and sometimes it don't make sense. I learned that with Rob. You feel me? I learned that in Jersey. Rob used to put Vinny the Guido and Tommy Moose to fucking disrespect me every show. And I was legitimately getting mad. But the one time I hit Vinny, fucking building exploded. You feel me? So everything sometimes takes time. With him, as he was going up here to the top, the other guys weren't. And they were upset because they were paying their money and they were doing what they had to do. And I guess it kept going back and forth, back and forth. Now, I'm going out my way to pick him up and take him to his shows, okay? Because legitimately, I was picking him up and taking him. We would stay in hotels together, spend 4 nights in Miami, all wrestling shit. When I started noticing that, I'm not saying I try to control him, but I try to be real with him. Like, you know when you got rap friends and they think they the shit, you gotta tell them like, yo, dog, your shit is getting to be horrible. So now, what he personally needs to do, and I tell him this all the time, and I don't mean this disrespect, lift up some fucking weights, shut the fuck up, okay? You don't need me, you got your own mouthpiece, but if you need me, dog, I'll be there for you on some street shit. If they try to legitimately fuck you up in the back room, I got your back the same way you have my back. But wrestling-wise, you need to shut the fuck up, pull your pants up, get your weight game up, and start slaughtering them the wrestling way. Not the way he wants to do it, not by really punching them in the face and none of that, by giving them legit good matches and putting it on. He's not going to be an AEW, MLW because I tell him all the time, what video you have right now that I could send to them? What can I give Low Key right now so he could be like, yo, let me give this to Q? You have nothing. So what he needs to do, and he took it the wrong way. You know, I heard him last week. He was upset. You know what I mean? He took it the wrong way. But him, just like him, like fuck Santana. I love Santana. Santana's a good dude. You feel me? But fuck Santana. Don't worry about what Santana's doing. Don't fucking worry about what Cha-Cha's doing. Don't worry about any of these guys. Because in real life, if they want the smoke, they will come to you. If they do it at a show, they're not about that life. Because when you do it at a show, you're doing that schoolboy shit. Like when you in school, when you yelling, the teacher break it up, but you still look fly in front of the bitches. That's what they trying to do.
You with your game. You're not supposed to allow it. Which is what I was also going to bring up. The fact that you are the complete opposite. You use it as ammo and you throw it right back. And that's how it should be. But you don't let it stop your business. So I totally agree with everything you just said.
It affects my business though. It affects me hard. Hard. I'm talking about legitimately 2, 3 in the morning, Vince Steele on the phone with me, cursing me out about shit I said online. Claudia, you know what I mean? Big, the Claw, she was just on NWA Power. She would legitimately hit me up too. You're going too far. Dump Dupree, another one, from he used to wrestle at Ring of Honor. He'll hit me up too, like, Mike, you're going too far, slow it down. And up until recently, it was cool until it affected the money and the movement that I'm trying to create. So now I'm on some, what do you do from here? Do you continue? I'm so far into this shit, man, fuck it. It is what it is. If I see JB, let's be real, JB sees me, and JB's not going to drive 4 hours to get clapped on me, okay? He's not going to do that. He's a convicted felon, so he can't carry a gun on him. If he come to my property, I'm going to smoke him, and then what's really going to happen? So I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about Walker. I'm not worried about none of these clowns, because in real life, some of these dudes really know where I live, and they don't pull up. So I don't never go.
Do you regret anything? Do you feel like you have crossed the line because of what is done to your career?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I used to do a lot of school stuff. I used to do a lot of cool shit with the Guardian Angels. I used to do a lot of fundraisers. I did a lot of protests. Some of that shit right now I can't do. Because as the shit that I've fucking, my mouth has gotten me into so much trouble. It's hard for me to go into these schools and tell them, no, I'm not like this. And then 2 hours later, I'm doing some gimmick shit online. So yes, in the fact that I love everything it gave me. Like some of the numbers that I got right now is because I was trolling ARW. I was trolling Alex Red one day, and he went on live and he fucking went off and he blessed me with 1,000 new fans on my page, like the bird he is. You know what I mean? And he still doesn't know to today it was all gimmick. He still thinks everything I said online is real. So he doesn't know I did the Takashi without the snitching. I just trolled him. I was playing with that market. I was watching everybody do it, so I was doing it too. So I was calling some of the guys I've called out before. Already knew I was calling them out. So it's like
let me ask you. Are you just the type to be like blah 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 online and to other people? Have you ever like face to face, motherfucker? I'm selling you.
Okay, cool. Here's the thing. Because I use the king of trash talk shit, I legitimately, whatever I say online, I legitimately repeat it back to their face. If they come up to me and they say something, I will repeat it again. None of these dudes scare me. I don't care how much weights they lift. I don't care about none of that. I've called people out before. I've done shit before, and I just wait. You know what I mean? I just wait for them to see the reaction. Now, it makes it uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, I've destroyed careers like this also, because I've pulled out so many cards where, like, you can't come back from this. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example. I don't care. I'll say his name all the time. Christopher Ryan. Christopher Ryan took a shot at me. He said something online that wasn't true about me and affected my relationship at the time. He said I tried to holler at his wife. He tried to get the whole sympathy thing so I could stop getting booked. After I legitimately made these videos and I went as far as I could go, he stopped getting booked because everybody started noticing all the flaws I was pointing out. So I was blessed and then I'm not blessed because I fucked up his career, but then I don't want nobody fucking up my career. So it's kind of like, if you really want to think about it, it's kind of hypocritical. I'm being a hypocrite, because I don't like them fucking with me, but I warn people I'm fucking petty. So when they get at me, I go to the extreme.
They get at you first. You're not like a bully, right?
I'm more of an anti-bully, but I do clown a lot of I clown online. I clown Chris Farrell, right? Chris Farrell's a good kid. You feel me? I clown him for shits and giggles, and I legitimately hurt his feelings. And that's one of the dudes that hit me up on some, I'm not a gangster, I can't believe you say that about me. Like, I don't care. I know I won't win the fight, but I'll fucking fight you. I don't care. And I had to call him like, whoa, time out, bro. It's all gimmick. Relax. Other motherfuckers, I don't back down from what I say at all. If I said it, fuck it.
A lot of times, motherfuckers don't separate, the business from it being personal, and they take it personal, and then it creates this real beef, and it's like, okay, we feel like it's real, but it's not supposed to be this real. You know what I mean?
Well, to me, it's like, it's okay what they were doing it to me. It's okay what they were calling me a bark. It's okay when they said I wasn't a real athlete. It was okay up until you had legitimately athlete. So how this shit really started was you had a guy, I was the owner of OCW. Okay, I was one of the owners of OCW. We let in Controversial Inc. as a tag team. I really liked them. We were with them for like a year at Knockout Wrestling. We brought them into OCW. One of them, Mr. C, he's a control freak. You know what I mean? He needs to be in control. Everything has to be Puerto Rican style, Estilo IWA, Savio Vega's my trainer, you gotta listen to me. He's like the equivalent, and this is not a shot because my family's half Dominican, but he's the equivalent of these clowns that come from DR and be like, oh, yo tenía casa allá, 5 casas con finca y todo. And you be like, so what the fuck you living in a 1-bedroom apartment for? If you had this big mansion out there. He's the equivalent to that. And he came in and he started the rumors And he started the back talking, and he was the one pretending to be my friend, and then go tell people, everything he's saying is bullshit. He's never been on the radio, he's never did this. That happened for about 6 or 7 months until and I knew about this for a while. I just kept holding it in until I went to Nashville, and they all marked out. We're eating wings upstairs, right? We're eating wings. It's me, the other owner, controversial. No, Mr. C, because the other two wasn't there yet. His brother-in-law, Vince Steele shows up. Okay. Now Vince knows me from New York. Whatever, he shows up, gives everybody a 5, gives me a hug. Now Mr. C's looking like, oh, they know each other. And all he said was, "You bitch ass nigga, you run your mouth so much." And I laughed, and he said, "Let's fuck up some wings." We sat down, we started fucking up some wings, and homie knew right there that he was already in the shits. He already knew, like, fuck, I've been telling everybody he don't know nobody. Now we go to the show, and Chase Stevens is there from TNA. I've done plenty of shows with Chase Stevens. He pulls up, he goes, "Oh shit, Fat Boy, what's up?" Still doesn't know my name, he just calls me Fat Boy. "Fat Boy, let's get fucked up tonight, man. Come on, man, you gotta drink some Jack Daniels with me." Now Mr. C sitting there watching too. But he the one sucking dick to get pictures with these fools. You know what I mean? He's sucking dick to get pictures with these fools. I legitimately got a lot of dudes I've been on the card with and haven't took pictures with. I know Gangrel for about 5 years, and up until recently, I just now took a picture with him. You feel me? I don't mark out like that when I see him, because I see him all the time. So, he was the one that started the rumors that I did.
We're losing them. I don't know why. Oh no! He got frozen. Hold on, guys. South Florida connection, man. Sorry, guys. Well, in the event that he cannot connect back, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Please do. Oh, wait, there he is. Hold on. Okay. I don't know if it's Instagram or what, but thanks for joining us today. Please do subscribe to BMF Goddess from YouTube. This will be on YouTube next week. Thank you guys for joining us.
Felt like they probably disconnected us, but after Mr. C spreaded those rumors, it just made life harder for me, and then I just been working my way up since then. Up until recently, we spoke about things and we try to clear things up, but when I opened up Shadow Wrestling Alliance, he did the bitch shit again and told people not to fuck with me, and we're back at it again. Other than that, I really don't have no regrets of anything I say. There's some stuff I've publicly apologized for. Other stuff, we'll share. If there's ever a part 2, I still got Gleason stories and stuff like that I would love to share with you. A run-in I had with Hector Camacho Jr. when I was young. We almost got into it too. But respectfully, thank you for having me on your show. I know time was cut short because of Instagram, but, follow me, Facebook Live, Micheal El Rey, Twitter, Micheal El Rey, Instagram, obviously, Michael L. Ray Official. Get your merchandise, knockoutshop.com. Type in Michael L. Ray, sneakers, shirts, everything. Thank you very much for having me on your show. I appreciate it, yo. And we'll give the fans more later on. You know what I'm saying? This is the King of Trash Talk, Michael L. Ray. And I'm out.